Tailgate Show. And you say Shot City. The Tailgate Show. The Tailgate Show. The Tailgate Show. And you say Shot City. The Tailgate Show. The Tailgate Show. The Tailgate Show. And you say Shot City. The Tailgate Show. The Tailgate Show. The Tailgate Show. And you say Shot City. The Tailgate Show. The Tailgate Show. The Tailgate Show. And you say Shot City. The Tailgate Show. The Tailgate Show. The Tailgate Show.
Welcome everybody to another episode of the Tailgate Show Afternoon Delight Edition. Bears, Browns, and Justin Fields is our motherfucking quarterback.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can he be the king of Ohio once again? The Ohio National Champions.
And I know, like, I was listening to Chicago sports radio, but they can't kind of say it like this. I felt like excited as hell when the announcement was made. And then you got our coach who could fuck up a wet dream. He had to go there, right? We're all excited, all ready to go. And he just can't help himself. Like, this is a big moment in this kid's life. And he's going to be starting. Just say, just respond with, Justin's our starter. I'm not into predicting things. Let's see how it goes. Simple. Like, you didn't have to go there with Dalton.
He's covering his own ass, bro. That's all that is. It's an ass covering. It's like, oh, well, if it goes south, then, I did say Andy's our starter when he's healthy.
Even if it goes south, if it goes south a little bit, it's going to, I feel like it will screw up. If you're trying to develop the kid, right, and he has a bad game, he shouldn't feel like he's looking over his shoulder. He's developing and learning. Like, you just have to move forward with him. You have to evaluate this roster with him and see how the pieces work with him, because it's not just about his development. Like, who on this roster's played with a quarterback like him? They have to develop to his skill set too. And Nagy has to develop. He's never had a quarterback on his own that has a skill set. So these guys have to develop with him. Exactly. Especially when things are going to break down. I mean, you watch Kansas City, and Nagy can try to take credit for Mahomes' development, but Mahomes pulls shit out of his ass, man. It's like playground style, backlot. Like, him and Hill are on the same page. Like, it's unbelievable. And Kelsey, like, they're just like, okay, if things break down, they know exactly where to be, and that's what has to happen here, because this kid has a very similar skill set, man.
Absolutely.
So the development's not just Fields. It's not just going to be on Fields. These guys have to get used to him also.
It's the entire offense, the offensive line, everybody. And we have a special guest coming in hot.
Hey,
Mr. Biscuit.
What up?
Scotty, what up, dude?
I had to finish my salad before I hopped on with you guys.
Oh, God, you'll be in the bathroom any minute.
What's going on, boys?
What's up, man? We're just talking about Nagy's announcement, and then he had to go there with saying Dalton will be the starter when he's healthy. Kind of like I said, kind of fucked up a wet dream,
Yeah.
So it's just, well, I was saying earlier,
such insight, Biscuits. Please elaborate on
It's a moment that he's been waiting for his whole life, Fields. You know what I mean? Like, why even ruin that? Just let him enjoy it. Let us enjoy it.
Exactly.
How'd you feel, Biscuits?
I think you pretty much hit my thoughts on it in the chat that we were having last night, which is it was just so unnecessary. Let it play out. But he same thing with the kicker gate. He always wants to make it a bigger deal than what it needs to be. And this is just more of the same. Doesn't surprise me.
Absolutely. I think it's like I said, it's more of a cover your ass thing for me. It's bring all back just in case.
I think the cover your ass part is show that you can coach now, because you got your guy and he's in. That's how you cover your ass.
Yeah.
But I mean, we got a tough opponent here coming up. I don't know how to dig into predicting this, because I think like the Browns, man, their offense is tough. I mean, they got 3 deep running backs. They're deep at tight end, which with Baker banged up, I mean, they can go to work there. I know Landry's out. I guess my only concern really is if Odell's only like 65% and he goes, they could just come out and use him as a decoy, and almost if they stick Jalen on him and he's not even going to be a real important part of the offense, they're almost just taking Jalen out of the equation.
Yeah.
Good point.
My question is how do you have to be able to stop their run with 4? You got to stop them with the front 4. Can't let him.
Or 3 if Goldman's playing.
Right.
Which hope-
Goldman hater? You banking on Goldman? Goldman hater?
No, I think he's solid
Not
in the
at all.
run. No, I hope we see pre London Goldman. I mean, like I said, that Raiders game, he just hasn't been the same. But he also looks a lot like he's in really good shape. So,
Right.
I mean, he did in training camp. We'll see where he's at now. But yeah, I would love to see him come back to that.
We've had 2 good practices so far. I don't know. We haven't seen a practice report yet from today, but evidently he's a participant in both days. So
He didn't say practice is going well, did he, Nagy?
he did not use
Arrows
those
up.
words.
The arrows up during practice. All right, he
Thank
only
God.
plays what, like 35% of the snaps? I guess my question is him coming back this week, is he going to be in football shape? That's my concern.
Well, if he's practicing, you hope that he is. You just hope that with the arrow pointing up that he doesn't need like a bacchiotomy or some shit.
No, I mean he would be really important when he is in with the way this team can run.
Yeah.
Then you're getting Mario Edwards back too. So
Yeah,
that's Mario.
And your
So,
guy
I mean-
Blackson, Air Jair. Your
Yes.
guy Blackson. I went back and rewatched that game, and yeah, he might not have shown up on the stat sheet a whole lot, but that dude was
He
making
was
plays.
everywhere.
Yeah,
He
his
was
run fits
everywhere.
were excellent. Really were.
Yeah, he helped
about
fill. He helped make Quinn have a very, very good game.
Thank you, Wyatt.
what about a Tacho?
Yeah, Atacho too. I mean, this is going to be a
I'm
game.
being
where-
sarcastic. I haven't seen much.
Yeah. I would like to really see them give more of his snaps away to Gibson. What he was inactive last week, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Gibson? That was a big
Yeah.
surprise.
I'm telling you, that kid's not there yet. I would have rather them keep Snowden, and then I
mean,
think he offers
at this
more
point,
than
I put Snowden in as a big nickel, like a real big nickel.
Gibson. But anyway, we got a tough opponent, Cleveland. You know, the Bakers got the bum off arm. They're going to try to run the ball coming off the bus. You know, Lovie Smith style.
Baker,
We're off
I
the
mean,
bus running.
Baker comes off like a poor man's Favre. Like he's scrappy. You know what I mean? He's not. You can't. He's inconsistent, but at the same time, he can hurt you. And now I know he's banged up. I know I hope we get to him early and often and just rattle him. But he's pretty solid, man. I mean, they have even their rookie receiver there. I'm drawing a blank. Schwartz. He's getting separation. Like they have some depth. They have some weapons, man.
Higgins is underrated.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
Higgins is
Yep.
a player.
yeah.
I agree.
And
Your
they're
offensive line
almost scoring 30 points a game. Like we're scoring offensively 13 a game.
Let's be honest, we're high off our own supply after a good game with a bad offensive line in Cincinnati. We're not playing a bad offensive line in Cleveland. They're good.
Yeah.
You know, and what Baker does do is he makes his line better by being mobile enough. He doesn't go out and necessarily run, but he's mobile enough to make you have to commit a linebacker sometimes to him.
But people
is
are acting
trouble.
like we're playing a top 3 defense in the NFL, and that's just not the case. They're good on the edge, like with Clowney and Garrett.
Javon Clowney.
But
Remember
they're
that?
not. I mean, they're not this defense right now. I mean, yes, maybe when they're more gelled, I guess guys are just coming back from injury in Cleveland, but they're not world beaters, man. They're actually giving up a lot of passing yards. So
Yeah.
it's something that hopefully Nagy can not over scheme and just scheme up right and kind of. It's gonna be interesting to see how he handles Fields because I feel like he's gonna try to put training wheels on this kid, and I really don't want him thinking too much, like having to be precise and not having to like quick release and stay in the pot. Like, don't get in his head too much, please, Nagy. Let this kid just flow with the game. Like that's
me-
who he is.
To me, this has to be a play action heavy game, but in order for play action to work, you've got to get David Montgomery going.
Oh, absolutely.
I look for our offense to try to do similar to what we did against the Rams. Let those speed guys get upfield. That's fine. Go ahead. We're going to run right underneath you, and we're going to pound you on the inside. And you got to hope that
Pause.
yeah, pause. I had to pause. And you got to hope that Cody and that crew starts getting some push.
Yeah.
You know, Sam Mustipher calling you out. Where are you at? You going to get some push this week? Or are you just going to sit there?
I'd like
I like
to see
him.
them continue the trend too of doing the pre-snap motion. I think we're number 6 in the NFL right now, pre-snap motion, which would obviously
wow.
make things a lot. Surprise! It's a shocking turn from last year. So I
Stats
think,
Engraving Inc. bringing it.
hey, gotta bring the nuggets for y'all. That's going to be a huge key for this game. You know, take a little bit of that guessing game out of Justin's, you know, and just run that pre-snap motion. Get an idea if they're playing man or zone and let the kid work. I want to see more boots and waggles too.
I think you're going to see a lot of RPO. I feel like that's the game. But in order to do the RPO, you've got to establish David Montgomery. It all starts with him. If that doesn't work, then play action means nothing, and you have to drop back and you make Justin a target, which none of us want.
Got to get the tight ends involved. Got to. This is a you know now that Fields is in, I really wish Cohen was healthy because
Right.
I think he'd be huge for us. You know?
Yeah. B, you brought up a good point too in the chat, which was running that 12 personnel with Komet and James instead of Jimmy. And then I know Jared kind of tagged on that and said, you know, let's do a 3 tight end set with Jimmy out there as well at the red zone. You know, I think the tight ends need to be big.
James can block, man, and he also has chemistry with Fields.
Well, I think the reason why I went with the 3 tight ends is because he's trying to be the smartest guy in the room. You know, it's like, oh, we're going to run that quarterback run with Jimmy Graham because everybody's going to assume that we're going to pass because Jimmy's in because he doesn't block worth a shit. But here's the reality is that you need to run it with 3 tight ends so you have a tight end that can block worth a shit, and you still have the receiving threat that is whatever he is. He's tall. I mean, let's say that he's big. So you still have a big target in the red zone. I mean, that inside the 10, I look for that to be a thing. And if I can see that.
And I know we get frustrated with Nagy's bullshit, but if you watch the Chiefs, they pull the same bullshit. They just have the players that execute it.
Right.
True. But to that point, it's like that play where down on the goal line where Fields booted out left for that design run and they had Jimmy out there trying to block the corner and the corner just easily got around him. Like, why are you asking Jimmy to go out there and make that fucking play? That's what pisses me off. He's never been a blocker. It's not his game.
I don't know if that was designed. You just have to have that instinct.
To be able to
Oh, 8-bit. 8-bit Joe?
I was going to say.
Sorry.
Darth the Jader.
Darth Jader. Mega Jair.
Try talking to that dude. Yes.
Yeah, that's better. That's better.
All right. To me, it was a designed run, obviously. And Jimmy Graham. So? Oh, absolutely.
Looked like it to me, to my uneducated mind. I'll defer to you two.
Imagine expecting it and blocking that way.
Yeah. Dude, all he had to do, if he fell down in front of him, he's scoring. All he has to do is literally just kind of stand in the way.
And I'm also wondering how this O-line is going to hold up because he does need a little more time. That's just like these mobile quarterbacks do to let things set up. It's just the way it is. And Ifedi's big struggle is when he was playing for us. You know, like
he was playing left tackle, right?
You have to handle your man a little longer.
He was a left tackle there.
They moved him to right tackle
later. I'm talking 3 years, right? Yep.
Yeah.
But it was, and let's face it, you know, he was a young man. He's matured a little bit. I think last week. Here comes my attention whore cat. Jesus Christ. But, you know, I think he's played well. And I'm very happy with the way that Ifedi's played. And I think if you're going to match him up, if I was Cleveland, I'm probably going to put Clowney over on the left and go after Peters. And I'm going to challenge Ifedi.
Wyatt makes a good point in the chat, too, with Garrett running the RPO.
Where's that right here?
Yeah, I mean, there's things we can do to offset those 2 edge rushers. I mean, that Fields can give them a long day.
Absolutely.
But I mean, my biggest thing right now is just trying to take off my fanalist hat for this game and just enjoy it as a fan. There's purity in that because we're constantly trying to analyze this, and we do podcasting and all that stuff. So I'm just gonna go into this game and enjoy this moment as a fan because I've been waiting for this kid to be here since freaking January. So I just really want to enjoy the moment, man. I'll go back and watch after and do all that shit, but I just want to enjoy this, man. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what he has, and it's probably not going to be perfect, but there's going to be things that we're going to see that we know we can build off of with this kid. And I don't want him taken back out if he has a couple bad games. Like you have to build, you have to just keep building with him. There's no going back in my mind. If Nagy does that, that's just completely irresponsible.
I agree.
That's why the comments by him made no sense, though. It's like, why would you even put that out there? Just let it flow, let it happen. If you need to go back to Andy, if it's that bad, then you can do so at that time. It just creates more controversy to come out and say, hey, when Andy's our starter or when he's healthy, he's going to be our starter. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Is there some kind of bonus in his contract that if he doesn't start when out, like, I don't know what the hell they're so stubborn about with this guy. I could understand if like it was Tom Brady. You know what I mean? But they're treating this guy like he's won 3 Super Bowls before he got here.
Right.
You know, and then they got an actual Super Bowl winning quarterback that's not even dressing for games.
Well, he's dressing this week.
I'm
surprised he's not starting this week, knowing Nagy.
Oh, God. Fans are actually calling for that on shit or Twitter,
I saw that. Was that more like tongue-in-cheek sarcasm, or was that legit people making that point?
I would say this: if you're really following the plan, which the plan was to let Justin develop, he wouldn't be your number 2. We said that from the beginning. He wouldn't be your number 2 quarterback. It would be Nick Foles. Now, reality is that's never been the plan. The plan was for him to be the number 2. If something happened to Dalton, in my opinion, if something happened to Dalton, there's your built-in excuse. You're ready to roll. It's like, all right, Justin, go. He's saying all the right things. He's saying the coach speak stuff. Reality is it's just coach speak. Justin starts winning. They start rolling. You score more than 20 fucking points on offense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, sorry, Andy. And you've been a great guy for a week and a quarter, but it's time to go.
He's not a bad backup to have. I mean, he's
absolutely not.
Huge shout out to Fields. So
shout out to the Chicago fans that helped his charities out. You know, I guess I saw something on the Twitter machine there, and I guess they've really just fans supporting his charities, and it's awesome. And I mean, that shows there's some mutual respect between the fan base and Andy Dalton, which is something that maybe, you know, a lot of people didn't really understand.
I'm getting emotional over here, but honestly,
I think it's also easier to donate $14 to Andy's charity when you know you're having a stud quarterback come in and start this week too. It makes it a lot easier to make that payment.
Hey, $14, sure, brother.
Yeah, hey, fuck it, why not? I'm feeling good. Got Fields in there this week.
Like, I'll give you one more.
Just to touch on the plan, because I think that's a really good point, and I don't know if we really know what their plan was, but if anyone listening, if you're not following a guy named Butkus Stats on Twitter, he's a really, really good follow, and he put out this breakdown article studying the last 20 years of quarterbacks drafted in the first round. And was there any correlation to their success to starting right away or sitting, initially? And everybody points to the Rodgers and the Mahomes. I think every situation is a little bit different. That's pretty much what he touched on in that article. And really, there is no correlation to a quarterback's NFL success to starting versus sitting. So I think there's so many different variables that come into play. And I really hate the Mahomes comp. I don't think, no offense to Andy, he's not Alex Smith with, a couple years of past, successful track record. I don't think they know what the plan is, but I don't think there's any benefit to making Justin the 2 or the 3. I know we've harped on this a bunch, but he's not going to learn anything sitting behind Andy. It's just time to play. Let him learn. And Ill Will said it best. I know I'm ranting here, but Ill Will said there's going to be mistakes. There's going to be bad throws, but there's also going to be some galvanizing moments where he makes some big time fucking throws that this offense really needs. We cannot dink and dunk down the field. It's too hard to do that.
No, I completely agree with that, man. And you gotta, at some point, Nagy needs to get off Andy Reid's tit and be his own guy. He's Mr. BU. Stop trying to copycat Reid, man. Because honestly, like, Reid is a very good coach, but freaking Patrick Mahomes is generational. Let's call it what it is. Tyreek Hill, generational. Kelsey, generational. Yes, Andy Reid's a good coach, but these guys get a lot of shit done beyond the play call. It's when things start breaking down. They're very good at it. And that's not Andy Reid. That's instinctual. You can't really coach that shit. These are guys that are just on the same page at a different level. And that's what we need here. These guys, I hope they're working overtime with Justin right now, just trying to get used to how he throws and when things break down, all that shit. Because like I said, these guys aren't used to having this kind of talent behind center.
So concerning the game on defense here, who are two guys on defense that you feel like need to have really, really good, strong games for the Bears to have a good chance to win?
I think Ogletree. I'm not worried about Roquan, but I think our linebackers are going to be really tested with this group of running backs and tight ends. So, like I said, not worried about Roquan, Ogletree. He needs to have a huge game. And I would say Vildor, because I really don't know how that's going to work out with Odell, and like, who do you put on him? Like, yes, Odell completely healthy, of course it's Jalen. Odell not completely healthy and Jalen's on him. Now they're used to playing without Odell. You know what I mean? Like I said earlier. So that one kind of concerns me, because if Odell is not completely healthy, I'd rather have Jalen on someone else. So I don't know how Vildor is going to have to step up.
I agree. What about you, Biscuits?
I would say I'm less concerned about Vildor and Jalen on the outside, just because we already know that the strength of this Cleveland team is Chubb and Hunt. So my two defensive players, if Goldman does come back, it's Goldman and Nichols for me. I want to see them clogging up that middle, keeping Ogletree and Roquan free to make those tackles. And we talked about that in the chat too. If the bad tackling continues this week, it's a really fucking bad matchup for that.
Mm-hmm.
So well, you want Eddie to not let Chubb penetrate.
No Chubb penetration. Well, for me, it's going to be Duke Shelley till he proves me different. Duke Shelley's going to be under stress, and our linebacker core is going to be under stress because they've got some damn good tight ends. You got Njoku and you got Austin Hooper. Luckily, Austin Hooper's never torched our defense. Shit.
Oh, so I was about to say, that Atlanta player. Yeah.
he has. So, I mean, I don't know if it's the same guy as that made that catch. That's a couple years back, but you've got to stop the tight end game, and you got to beat the tight ends on the blocks too. When they're blocking down, you've got to find a way to destroy them. You can't be handled. So. As always, and for me, it's always a trench game. But in this one in particular, you've got to, if you can stop their run and make them dimensional, it could be a very long day for them.
Yeah, especially with Mayfield hurting. Make them go to that one dimensional. I'd feel really, really good about our chances at that point.
And I think Bilal up against their left guard. I don't even know how to pronounce his last name, Batoni or whatever.
Yeah,
Joel. He's a freaking monster at left guard. So, like, Bilal's going to have a game. He's going to be challenged. And Peters, with a dislocated finger and a bad quad going up against Garrett, is something I'm a little nervous about. I know I like Peters a lot. I like what he's done. That's going to be a very important matchup.
I agree.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree. Jason's played very well so far. And 39, I mean, I hate to say it, but 39 is 39. Hell, I'm 43.
He blasted that one dude right on his ass, bro.
Well, he was off. He was off balance too. I
Right.
mean, he just freaking gave him a 380-pound shove in the shoulder. He did what he should do.
Right.
But that's
Tell
but what
that
do
to
you do though?
72. You know, I
Right.
can't remember a single point in time where 72 was making a play like that.
No.
He never looked
That's
for
true.
contact.
He wanted to get his
No.
hands on people. Jason Peters is a different animal. We'll say that.
Yeah.
But I mean, what we were talking about with, can he get out and get a reach block, and can he pull with the speed? And he doesn't really have to.
And
he won't
he's
really have
smart
to
for
get
mobile
out.
quarterbacks in his career too, which
Yeah.
that's important.
Yeah.
But the neutralization that Justin brings you, that's why if you establish an up the middle run game, this could be a very short game. Could be the time like on your watch could be a 2.5 hour game if your running game's going, and if theirs is going,
Mustafa needs to get on the same freaking page with Justin, man.
well, hopefully that's what happened this week.
Yeah.
So who are the two guys on offense you're looking for to have big games, to have for us to win?
You want to go first?
You go ahead,
I'll
dude.
go.
You go ahead, Jer.
I'll go first. Obviously, it's David Montgomery.
I agree.
For me. First and foremost, that is your offensive identity. Whether you like it or not, Matt Nagy, that is your offensive identity. It starts and ends with David Montgomery. Second in line, Wyatt nailed it. It's Allen Robinson. If you can get play action with Montgomery and you can bring Robinson across the middle to between those safeties who are not good and those linebackers, which aren't great, A-Rob's got to eat. And so does Mooney. Mooney's got to be there too, but I don't want to take all the offensive players. But that's my game plan. If I'm the Bears, establish the run play action behind the linebackers in front of the safeties, and dominate the clock.
I think I would say Monty too, but I think Monty is fine as long as the O-line's doing their job.
Mhm.
So I guess I'll pick 5. The O-line.
Okay.
Because I think Fields and Monty, if they're all doing their job, and the wide receivers, it all starts up front. That the offensive line needs to have a day. So sorry if I took too many guys there, but it's the big boys up front.
At the same time, we've been waiting for all 11 guys on this offense to come together and put up more than 20 fucking points on a weekly basis. So I don't think it's an unfair thing for you to say. I mean, my two guys would be Jason Peters, matched up with Garrett there, and then I would have to say Monty as well. I don't have concerns that he's not going to show up, but if we want to win this game, like Jer said, everything has to flow through David first.
I agree. But I think he's built for that. You know what I mean? Like, and I agree. He's the best player on offense right now.
Yeah, I don't know how's Cleveland defensive rank versus the run so far. I mean, they've given up a lot of yards and a lot of points. Looks like
stats and gravy.
I don't know the stats, but they're fairly solid.
Stats and gravy is on the hunt. But I would say it doesn't strike me that they are, because mobile quarterback Tyrod gave him fits.
Oh, you're talking about a mobile quarterback. I'm just looking at
running as a defensive whole, but
yeah. Those are built into the rushing stats ultimately, but yeah, they've struggled against mobile quarterbacks. But I mean, they also let teams back in the game. Like they had the Chiefs beaten.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that does concern me a little bit. They played Mahomes, they played Taylor. Like, those are two experienced mobile quarterbacks. So it's not like they're coming off of playing two guys that are not mobile, and now you're coming up against Fields. Like, they've already had 2 games against guys like this.
And you've already established that, if you can drop a cheat zone, where the guy looks like he's coming, and drop him out. Justin didn't see it once. Now, does that dictate what will happen in the future? No. All right, what you got? Stats and gravy.
Stats and gravy. They are 9th in rushing yards allowed. Their vulnerability seems to be on third down, where they're only stopping teams about 34% of the time.
Yeah,
Wow.
they have had a hard time with
Stay
that.
ahead of the sticks too. That's a big thing. That's been a theme in this offense is getting behind the sticks and getting in those second and third and longs. Really need
Right.
to avoid that this week.
Yeah, the defense is. I was listening to some of the fan stuff that's coming out, and they're talking about will the defensive coordinator get fired and all this shit. They're on that shit. So, but yeah, they have had one hell of a time on third down.
They just call you Jeremy. That
Yes,
sounds
it's my nephew. So yes,
sounds
That's
weird
cute.
as fuck to hear that.
Wyatt Ray. Yeah, you're getting a full middle name on this shit. But yeah, I mean, I mobile quarterback. We've had Andy was mobile. I think we undersold Andy's mobility. I think you saw it prior to his injury.
More mobile than Nick Foles running in maple syrup. Yeah.
More mobile than a statue, but
I mean,
we haven't played a quarterback like this season. That's where
No,
I
we
was
haven't.
saying biscuits when you went to look at that info up. It's like they've already played two pretty solid mobile quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So now they got a rookie coming in where we really haven't played a guy like Baker yet. Like we have in the past, but not this season. So he can make things difficult on defense too. It's gonna be a hard game to predict because Fields could ball out. You know, we don't know what's gonna happen. He has the potential to light their asses up. But there's also the rookie mistake thing. So we very hard game to try to nail down.
over or under, how many rushing yards does Justin Fields have this week?
I'm gonna say 65.
You want to? We'll set it at. I'll set it at 65, and you want to push. That'd be your push, right?
Yeah.
65. I'll go under that. I'm gonna say 40. Right around 40.
I'm gonna go right in between and say 50 because he's gonna have like 350 yards passing. So
Jesus.
Golly.
Did
Let's
you,
hope.
you got to go clean your pants out now, B? Just blow a load in there.
wearing
Wow.
a diaper.
So, how big of a game do you guys think this is in terms of foretelling how the rest of the season is going to play out? Because I feel like last week going up against probably one of the weakest offensive lines we're going to see. You know, will this defense be proven to be legit or not? What does Nagy look like after a whole week of game planning? I think this game has so many intriguing storylines that I think could really ultimately dictate how the rest of the season goes.
I agree. I think as long as Justin doesn't put the defense in bad position, I think they're gonna play a solid game.
The defense.
If you're not throwing interceptions on the 10-yard line, if you're
This
not
is kind of-
letting them start on their own 10 or like field position battle is going to be huge. I think if Justin plays solid, I think our defense will be fine.
I find this to be a contender versus pretender game. It's like if you win, you are a contender. And if you lose and you lose badly, you're just a pretender. This offensive line that we have will be tested, as will our defensive line versus, arguably probably one of the better offensive lines that they're going to face all year. So
agreed.
You're going to figure it out real quick. And
I don't know if Cleveland's the measuring stick, but I understand what you're saying.
For the defensive line, I believe it is. If we think they are what we think they want them, right? You'll see how good your trenches are this week.
And this is the team that went to the brink with the Chiefs now twice. Arguably should have won both those fucking games.
And we all remember what happened versus the Rams 2 weeks ago. That's the scenario that worries me. Is that now you're getting guys back that are going to help that defensive line, and what'll happen, we don't know.
Yeah, White
but
saying
it's
that Mac is the key.
I agree.
No.
Desai can't get spanked again. He can't get visually spanked on the football field by another coach.
Mac being the key, if the game hinged on him, I don't know. He's definitely the injuries are definitely taking their toll. I'd love to see him prime Mac. Like I really would. I hope it's somewhere in there still.
It'd be a nice week to have it.
Yeah, sure would.
So what do you guys
Any
thinking?
score? I was going to ask you score predictions.
Yeah, this is a tough one. We talking fandom, or are we talking like throwing money down?
Throw money
Throw it.
down.
Throwing money down.
I think it's close. I think Cleveland's too deep. 28-20 Browns, and that hurts.
Wyatt in the chat has us putting up 34 points against the Browns. You know, if we lose to the Browns 35-34, I would walk away from that feeling pretty damn good. Yeah, I would be a little bit disappointed in our offense or our defense, you know, letting 35 go, but 34 from this offense? Fuck. When's the last time we've seen that?
2 defensive touchdowns. The rest are field goals.
Oh, shot to the nuts, Jared. Jesus.
50-yard field goals. Nah, I got 28-20 Browns. And that's
pretty close to mine.
Would you pick?
Jared?
28-20 Browns.
20. Okay.
I'm going 27-24 Browns.
Is Parkey still their kicker?
No. Thank
Damn it. Damn it. I was like, maybe we get redemption on a doink.
This one's hard for me, man, because I don't want to pick against them, especially with Fields' first start. But like, if I'm throwing money down,
it's a 7. They opened up as 7-point favorites.
Yeah, it's so hard to predict. I mean, the Browns have been and Baker have been in this offense a lot longer, and it's not Fields. Like I think you could beat this team with Fields and Montgomery. It's just the ball-headed fuck that I don't know. I don't know what to expect.
Do you watch the JT O'Sullivan video? Right, we'll touch that on that.
Yeah, but I mean, if I was a betting man, which I'm not, I would say 31-21 Cleveland.
31-21 Cleveland. But anyway, let's touch on the JT O'Sullivan video about Justin Fields.
Let's touch on that, whatever the hell that was that you did. Sorry, I got a little static there, bud.
Sorry.
That's all right.
You know, JT O'Sullivan points out in his video a few times, it's like the play calls that beat the zones, they're not calling them. You know, they're only giving the quarterback one option to beat a zone, which is ridiculous. Or was it zone man? It was man beaters. They were running man beaters and they didn't have enough. And JT O'Sullivan, which greatly pointed out, is like they're not making the play calls quarterback a realistic chance. So it's like that's where my concern comes in with this team too, you know, which touches on what you just said about you don't know about the bald-headed fuck calling the plays. That's exactly what it is, you know. It's things like that. He's getting outcoached and outmaneuvered, which is not good for our offense, and especially a rookie quarterback. You got to give your quarterback options.
Yeah, so. They've never had this kind of quarterback in Chicago.
No.
How many options do you want to lay on Justin this week, being his first start? Do you want to be? It's a careful line to try. It's at 2. Yeah, I mean, hey, fuck 2. Yeah, I'll take that too. But just saying, there's a thin line to walk where you don't want to overload him with so much in his first start, but you do have to simplify a little bit. Yeah,
you got to give him a shot. If he's the guy that you think he is, I say throw it all at him.
If I was Nagy, I would have taken a deep dive into his Ohio State film. I would have been on the phone with Ryan Day, and I would be implementing that into the game plan.
How much say does Herman have in this week? You know, is he? You know, they brought him in to be like the old school Brad Childress offensive consultant. I wonder how much college schematic, game planning he's bringing to the table this week.
We've seen a lot of teams do this where they draft a kid and they try to put him in position to succeed. So they bring some of those college concepts into their game plan, and that's what you have to coach to your players' strengths. And I'm sure
we already run a lot of those.
Yeah.
I mean, we already do.
Yep.
So, I don't know how much of a difference that guy makes.
Once he gets comfortable, it's there's going to be no looking back.
I agree.
And there were some jitters. I mean, the lunge, the leaning back on the snap, some of that was on Mustafa too. But like, I saw things that he could have had 2 touchdowns. Number one, right? The whole story would have changed. And I'm not trying to be like shoulda, woulda, coulda, but legitimately, like, he's got the arm talent, he's got the speed, he's got the head.
He took
Upstairs,
an extra hitch on that A-Rob throw too, and he still got the ball in there perfectly.
Right.
He's got all the arm talent in the world, man. It's just, Nagy, you got your guy. The shit's on you now, and I don't think he's comfortable with that, because what has he proven to anybody with quarterbacks?
Good point.
So, but having said that, Sunday morning I'm going to be like 35-3 Bears. So I hope it's like they just turn on a game sharp.
There you go, coming right in. You could have had 3. You're right.
Yeah.
Could have had 1 on the ground.
Yeah, 100% right.
So
that stat line was super deceiving, man. It really was.
Oh yeah, and the tape wasn't. I mean, like when you watch the video, it was not nearly as oh my god as what some people would have thought. I mean,
he's a threat. Fields is a legitimate threat. It's hard to predict right now because he is a rookie and Nagy's a dumbass. But I think that I'm just hoping Nagy can finally do the right thing and stop trying to Nagyize everything.
Justin, don't spin and slide. Don't hit the spin button unless you absolutely have to. Because I don't want to see you get a helmet in the back like you did against Clemson. And then we're stuck with Nick Foles.
You got to bring that up, didn't you?
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. Slide. Save yourself. Learn to play for the next play a little bit.
I agree.
And God, don't hit that spin unless it's just you and one other guy. Then, yes, hit the spin button.
I'd also like to see him work on climbing the pocket a little bit more this week and not stressing out the tackles so much.
Right. Well, which I don't mind him dropping so far back, but if you're going to drop back and you're going to leave yourself that big opening, take advantage of it.
Yeah.
JT was acting. I mean, JT didn't have 4.4 speed when he played. All right, those pockets. It's the deceiving pocket because those guys are getting pushed back. Like they're not showing the ability to push forward.
He's as 4.4 backwards as he is 4.4 forwards.
Sure, it's easy for someone to sit there that barely played in the NFL and say you need to step up in the pocket. Though I'm like, come on, bro, you would have got creamed if you did that.
He would have. Justin won't. Justin's faster.
Right.
So it's okay to hold.
Our O-line also needs to show that they're getting pushed instead of getting pushed back, because when you're running forward into a pocket that's collapsing, like keep it clean.
That's clean. The play that he put up where he said that's a clean pocket in the NFL.
Yeah.
In slow motion and high def, absolutely.
Oh my God. When you're a tackle taking a kick step out, guess which way you're going? You're going back and out. You're angling out. You're automatically on the back foot. It's up to the quarterback to determine that, step up, and make the right decisions.
But these are things that all come with experience, though, too.
Yeah, absolutely. First significant time with the offense. Now he's getting the reps in practice with the offense.
And shame on Nagy for not letting him run with the ones at all and making this a legit competition.
There you go.
Yep.
So you're putting the kid behind the 8 ball and then still saying Andy's a starter. Fuck off, Nagy. Like, let's just move forward with Justin. Stop the bullshit. Now's the time, and let's see what we got here.
Well, that's the
I was
question. So
hoping
if Justin is 300 yards and 3 touchdowns every week, is Andy Dalton truly
Done.
ever healthy for the rest of the season? Now that
Not
bone
men-
bruise
not
turns from
mentally
3
or
weeks to
physically.
12 weeks.
Yeah,
Come on, old Yeller. It's time to go out by the shed. Here, bite down on this.
you put the flame out. That little match, the match head he has, you end up shaving that shit off. It's just gonna give up. It's too bad. No, and I honestly though, I think Andy's a great dude. Seems like a really nice guy. Seems super supportive of Justin. That's really cool to see. And it really sucks because I don't wish injury on anybody, but this is where we're at, man. And it's field season.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited about
I
that.
felt bad for him. I did. Seeing him on the sideline last week, I genuinely felt bad for him.
He was playing good ball, man.
Yeah. You just
Yeah.
wonder what that score would have been with him last week.
Ooh. You're saying that game turns out a little bit different with him in there as opposed to Justin coming in?
You have to change your own offensive scheme.
But then we can also point to the drops by A-Rob and Mooney as a reason why we didn't have more points, or a whiff by Grant. Do those
Absolutely.
things change with Andy being in there? I don't think so.
You were able to interpret that, Biscuit?
Yeah,
amazing.
I kind of knew where he was going with that. I had to fight through the interference, but yeah, I got it.
Sorry. Damn, it's rough, bro.
You got to learn to speak Indiana, man. That's Indiana talk. Like the dude from South Park. Nah. Jared, you're not a smoker, are you, man?
Ned, it's coming right at us, Ned.
Yeah. Kind of out of the vibe felt, man. But yeah, let's just
Get that
enjoy
win.
it.
Yeah, I think B, you've said that a couple times, enjoying it from the fan perspective and taking a step back. And I think I'm gonna take your lead on that and do the same thing.
Yeah,
this first start, I want to enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just staying the fuck up Twitter. I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for a legitimate franchise quarterback, and I think we have him. So I'm gonna enjoy this.
Jared, what are you doing this week? Are you on Twitter during the game?
No, I'm
not.
I'll be at work, so I'll be trying to catch it to and from.
Gotcha. Dude,
Sucks.
tell your employer you ate some fucking bad eggs and you got the shits and you can't make it in that day. This is Justin Fields' first start, man. You need to make up an excuse and call the hell out.
That is on the table.
All right.
I'm gonna light some candles. You know what I mean?
Gotta have a little Justin shrine down there in the cave.
I haven't even framed his autographed jersey yet, so I need to get on that. But
Place is gonna look like an NCIS inspection room.
Yeah, for those of y'all that don't know, B ordered a Elite Icons. Is that what it was from?
yeah,
Jersey.
Yeah.
That thing is fucking sick looking.
It is sick. Yeah, can't wait to frame it, man. Just looking for the right setup. So.
All right, boys, let's wrap this up. You got to go pick up kids. This is the day shift edition.
35. I just got back from New Hampshire today, man. So it's been a long day so far. But 35-3 Bears. Book it.
And by the end of the show, he's already changed his.
No,
That's a big point swing right there, B, in a matter of 20 fucking minutes.
I'm going all in on this one in Vegas here. So, all right.
Are you laying money down?
No, I don't fuck around like that.
Smart.
You ain't got it like. Well,
I don't got it like that. You know what I mean?
Shit. You thank God you ain't got it like me. You praise Allah for that one.
Whatever that means.
Right. On that note, well, this is just
exciting.
the day shift episode of the Tailgate Show.
The Fields.
First start to the Hall of Fame.
Make it to the Hall of
yeah.
Fame.
We're due.
Beyond due. That Bill